Hai Sobat Mensi, welcome to our podcast Bersaing, berbincang bahasa Inggris dalam bersaing, berbincang dalam bersaing, berbincang santai dalam bahasa Inggris. I'm Krishna, your host will accompany for the next few minutes to talk about English not scary. And I'm not alone today. I have a special guest with me. Let's welcome Adi.
Hello everyone, my name is Adi Saputra. I'm as a tourism student from class A.
Hi Adi, how are
Hi.
you today?
Hi Krishna, I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, okay Adi. Adi, what is your activities in your major?
In my major, we have to we have to make a lot of presentation, and we also have to use English, of course. This this is some of the ways the teacher can build our confidence in speaking English to the tourists.
Oh, it's very good your activities Andre.
Yes.
Adi, what do you have hobby?
Well, yes, I have a hobby.
What's your hobby?
My hobbies are playing games.
Playing games?
Yes.
What is your favorite playing games?
My favorite playing games is Genshin Impact. The reason is the Genshin Impact has a good storyline. It teaches us that how important everyone can be in our lives. And of course, it also is an open world game where I can speak to other NPC too. Now, I take them as a real life person. That way, I can actually learn how they speak and how they communicate.
Wow, it's very good playing game here.
Yes.
Okay Adi. So there, some question that already prepared sent yesterday. Will you answer my question?
Yes, of course.
Have you ever faced different using English in tourism related activities such as presentation, oral, playing as a guide? How did you feel about it?
Well, I did face some difficulties. Most of them are because I was not confident enough and it causes me to stutter. Of course, the only thing that makes me manage to succeed is to actually reorganize the words and actually not really thinking about my fault.
Oh, it's very good, Adi. Adi. Have you ever had experience handling tourists, either at school or outside? How did you feel about it?
I did have an experience at my shop. Well, it was long ago when a tourist came to my shop to buy things. Of course, my mother can speak English, so I have to be the one to handle the tourist myself.
How did you feel about it?
Well, all I feel is that it's actually very great. The tourist isn't as bad as I thought it was, and he was actually very friendly to me and my family.
Well, Adi, it's very good you and will make your experience better in the future.
Yes.
Adi, explain why do many tourism students feel nervous about speaking English, especially when guiding or interesting with tourists?
Well, just like I said earlier, they are mostly paranoid. Why are they paranoid? Because they are too afraid that if they make any mistake, this causes them to stutter, like which is very bad for them. The only way to actually not stutter is to actually just think about it as if you are saying it correctly. Do not think about the mistake first.
How to get rid of nervous?
Well, you can practice actually at home too, by with your family or with a mirror, with anything, as if you're actually speaking to another person.
How can tourism students build confidence in using English for guiding and other tourism jobs?
Well, there is one way that I have always used, and that is speaking to a mirror. By speaking to a mirror, I actually can feel like talking to someone else that is actually a real person. Of course, this way I can actually start building my confidence and not stutter while speaking.
Oh, the motto you offer is very interesting,
Yes.
Adi. I hope it's useful. Come on, friends. I'll give it a try. What are the benefits of speaking English fluently in the tourism industry?
In my opinion, it has so many benefits, but I will focus on one benefit, and that is because half of the world actually speak English as their second language. This means that if you actually speak English, you can mostly talk to other country too. You can go to other country and speak English there too, because they also learn it.
Oh, I see. Okay, English not scary. Help tourism students feel more comfortable using English in their career.
Well, English is very important, I would say. Why? Because just like I said earlier, as my point, is that English are the second most spoken language in the world. This means that you can easily practice English and mostly talk to other people too, as long as you are confident and you have the bravery to do it.
How important is English for vocational students who want to work in tourism?
Well, it is very important. Why? Because most of the tourists that came here. Why? Because most of the tourists that came in here are actually speaking English to us. And English also is the only language that many of us can easily learn. It's just that it takes time.
Oh, I see, Adi. Oh, it's very good. The opinion about someone is not afraid. How do you get rid of the fear, Adi?
Well, I can give you some tips, and that is by being diligent in learning English. What I mean is that you can watch YouTube videos or even play outside country games. Like for example, if you want to learn English, you can play Western games. Of course, this way you can actually understand the pattern of speaking and how they communicate very well. You just have to start from zero, and then later on you will eventually understand, just like I do.
Adi, who can very nice in speak English? Tips, opinion you about English?
Well, yes, my my message is that you should always try first and do not think about the mistake later. What I mean is that, of course, when you speak English, you have to watch for the vocabulary, just how you speak them, just how you pronounce them, and then that's it.
Oh, Adi, that's very nice, amazing. Before we up, do you have any link tips for the literates?
My tip for you all is that you should never be afraid. Because English is never been that scary. What I want you to do is that you just have to be someone confident. This way, when you speak English, you actually don't feel that you are making any mistake. And also, when you are speaking English, just make sure that you are actually know what you're saying. Because some English words are actually can mean other things if you mix it a little bit too far.
Wow, Adi, thank you for your message, Adi. Adi, how important is English for vocalization? It's very nice.
Okay, so the benefits are we can actually speak to other tourists a little bit more easier. And also, as a tourism student, we can explain about other places very easily. That's my opinion about learning English and why is it important.
Oh, Adi, thank you, Adi. Adi, but the method you offer very interesting. Method you.
My methods? Oh, it's very easy. I actually used to not be able to speak English, but I learned it in a few ways. Examples are like playing games, looking into a mirror, of course, talking to the mirror as if there's another person, and lastly is watching other people play video games.
Oh, Adi, thank you, Adi. Your method is very nice. Adi, how important English will see English not scary. In your
In my opinion, it can actually help people. In my opinion, it can actually help students speak, be more confident, and also emotionally support them. With emotionally supporting them, they can actually be brave enough to learn the language and not be afraid to pronounce it or even speaking it to other people.
Oh, it's very good of the opinion. How about just someone is just afraid? How do you get rid of the fear?
To get rid of the fear, make sure that you are actually speaking correctly. But also, if you're still starter at speaking English, do not think too much. Just think about how you pronounce it and how correctly you are speaking it.
Okay, thank you, Adi. That's already very nice mistake. Before we wrap up, do you have any last tips for your listeners?
Well, my tip for you all is that you should always be confident. You also need to eat more and drink water to stay hydrated. And also, as for learning English, do not be afraid. Learning English might seem a little bit complicated at first, but later on in life, you will understand it eventually. Because it is also as important as our language.
Okay, thank you, Adi, for your mistake for we. Adi, have you ever had experience handling? Adi, experience with money tourism. Student feel nervous. So when your guide interesting with tourists.
Of course, like I said earlier, some students are mostly nervous because they are afraid to say the English word correctly. What I want you to do is, you don't have to think too much about the grammar first. You just have to talk it out and then just remember that you are still a starter. So there is no point in blaming yourself if you speak it incorrectly.
Okay, thank you, Adi. Adi, that's really very nice. Before we're up, do you have tips or strengths?
I say don't be afraid to experiment with different study methods. Like for example, you can follow what I said earlier, like playing games, watching YouTube videos, or even just talking to a mirror. It can easily help you build confidence because it feels like you are talking to an actual person.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so for sharing your study. 10 question, Adi, I'm sure lots of people will find the helpful.
Thanks for having me here, Krishna. I had a great time.
I like everyone. That's in for today. In this episode, hope you found it useful. See you next time in the next one.